Hello there, moms. I'm so glad you're here. And before we even begin, I want you to grab your favorite beverage. Today, I am drinking coffee, uh, just starting the day, and this cup of coffee is tasting really good. And so, grab your favorite beverage. And then, before we begin, first in the description is a coffee chat link. Go ahead and book a coffee chat. Let's have a cup of coffee together and talk about, let's just have a friendly conversation, see where you are. And that is in the description. And I'm Stacey Johnson, and this is Calm Mom Conversations. And if you wake up already thinking, already planning, already behind, and by 9 a.m., you feel that tightness in your chest, that overwhelming feeling, you are probably not bad at managing your time. You are probably living in survival mode. And today we're going to be talking about why this happens. What is survival mode actually? And what does it look like in motherhood? And how do we create safety in our body without adding another thing to our to-do list? Like we do not need another thing. So this is not what this is about. So again, grab your favorite coffee or favorite beverage because this is not going to be about doing more. It's about understanding your nervous system. So before we begin, let's take that deep breath in through our nose and let it all out through your mouth. Did you know that your nervous system was designed to keep you safe? It doesn't know the difference between a tiger chasing you or three kids arguing, a school email about missing assignments, a calendar that feels too full. Pressure is pressure to the body. So again, it doesn't matter if that tiger's chasing you or you've got three kids arguing in the back seat of your car and you have an email from the teacher about a missing assignment. All that is pressure. And when pressure feels constant, your system doesn't complete the stress cycle. It just stays on. It never like comes down. It just stays on constantly. And that's what we call survival mode. And here's what most moms don't realize. Survival mode once helped you function. It helped you push through. It helped you carry everyone. It helped you keep going when you were exhausted. I know that that is what I lived in survival mode for most of probably all of my children's lives because and then I continued that survival mode once my husband passed away. So we don't have to shame it. We need to understand it. So your body has four main protective responses: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. I'm sure you've heard of them, but that is what most of us feel. Sorry, my phone just rang and I should have had that on vibrate. I'm sorry about that. So, as I was saying, most moms move between all of these responses all day long. So, we're going to break them down into real life examples. Fight is not always aggression. When people hear fight, they think I'm not a fighter. I don't fight. So why do but it's not about aggression. It's about intensity, irritability, that sharpness, trying to control the outcome. And examples of this could be snapping when your child asks one more question, raising your voice faster than you meant to, feeling annoyed by normal kid behavior, getting rigid about routines, correcting tone immediately, saying, because I said so. You might think, why am I short all the time? This is not anger, it's protection. Now, other people might think you're angry because I remember I would snap or I would do something and my late husband would ask, "Why are you angry all the time?" And it wasn't anger. I didn't feel that anger inside, but my nervous system was definitely in that survival mode. When we're snapping like this or when we feel annoyed with normal kid behavior, your nervous system is basically saying, I can't handle one more thing. I just can't. Fight energy is a boundary response that got overloaded. And after it happens, so after you snap or after you get annoyed by normal kid behavior or after you say, because I said so, what happens now is guilt, which keeps the cycle going. And we have those other internal beliefs that kick in as well. And that will also keep the cycle going. Flight is the most common survival state for busy mom. And it looks like that constant doing, waking up and immediately checking your phone, making lists before you even brush your teeth, multitasking during conversations, feeling uncomfortable when you're trying to sit still. Sitting still feels uncomfortable, and so you try to find things to do. You say yes when you're exhausted. So even though you're tired and you think about wanting to sit down, a kid may ask you for something or someone else asks you for something and you say, yes, I'll do it. You're trying to fill every silence with productivity. Flight says, if I stay ahead, I'll stay safe. It feels productive, but it keeps your body in adrenaline. And then eventually you crash. Freeze response is pretty what it says. It's shutdown. It's when your system feels overwhelmed and it just stops. And this may be like staring at your phone without really reading, endlessly scrolling type of thing. Sitting in the car after school pickup and you might feel like that unable to move. Procrastinating on simple tasks. Feeling in numb instead of emotional. So you've got that numb kind of feeling. Thinking, I don't even know where to start. You kind of stand, maybe you know you need to clean the house and you just stand there thinking, I don't know where to even start. And freeze is not laziness. Again, it's your nervous system hitting that overload, like it just can't move. It says, this is too much and I'm shutting down. I'm done. And many high achieving moms feel shame here. This is when shame will kick in. Um, or we start that thought process of, like everyone is better than me, or, they're doing it. Why can't I? Type of thing. And freeze is protection. That's what that is. And the next one is fawn. Fawn is over accommodation. It's people pleasing, over giving, avoiding conflict. So examples is saying yes to extra volunteering when you're tired or, volunteering to more than what you really can manage. I did that all the time. Volunteered for, school functions, volunteered to bake, volunteered to do church, functions. I had probably, there were times that I probably had three things on my plate that I had volunteered for. And then when you get there, you're like, why did I do this? You try to make everyone else comfortable first. You avoid hard conversations. You soothe your child immediately instead of letting them feel. And this is where we get in the habit of soothing our child. And so then they never feel those hard or tough feelings. And then it's harder for them to learn emotional regulation as they get older. And then as they become a teenager, they don't know necessarily how to manage these tough feelings. And so as we get to know our nervous system more, we are able to, model this emotional regulation for our children. And then they are able to catch on. We over explain our boundaries in fawn. Fawn says, if everyone else is okay, then I'm safe. We're good. It often develops in nurturing personalities. In moms, a lot of us live in this fawn. And just because have fawn does not mean we're also not doing another one of the, components of the nervous system. But when we do a lot, when we are people pleasing, soothing our children, over explaining our boundaries, that leaves us feeling empty. So why do we stay here? This is the important part. These responses aren't, like a personality flaw. It's not because, something's wrong with you. They are our nervous system patterns. And once we kind of get an ingrained way of responding, that's how we typically respond. And it takes understanding our nervous system, understanding how we can respond differently. And that's where, working with me would help, because we can start to look at like, why do we stay here? And what do I need to do to change? If you've had years of responsibility, caretaking, pressure, grief, unexpected disruptions, your system basically learned to stay alert and stay ready. So those can be definitely ways that we stay there. But they also get ingrained. We tend to get a response from other people, especially in the people pleasing. Their response triggers us to continue to do it. Because why not? Why, think about your child. If you are, not, you're kind of helping them or, doing what you need to do so they don't feel those tough feelings as soon as they're uncomfortable, they're going to give you the response that makes you believe that that's what you need to continue to do. Your system has learned to stay alert, stay ready. So moms, we're constantly scanning. And that scanning is exhausting. So we're not going to fix this with a stricter routine, a new planner, a longer morning ritual. We need to start teaching your body safety in small moments. Now, I for sure thrive. I know that part of my morning routine has definitely created that more calmness because I have learned about my own emotional energy and how to, when I scan or when I kind of look through my environment, I know how to protect my own energy now. So that was definitely a huge piece. And so my morning routine definitely helped me do that. But we're not going to try to create a strict routine right now to look at how to have your body feel safe. So what we need to do is teach our body to complete that stress cycle. So after hard moments, we maybe need to shake our hands, roll our shoulders, exhale even longer. Let your body discharge that stress instead of carrying it. And if you've snapped, we may need to, lower your voice and share or communicate. I got overwhelmed and let me try that again. That resets your system. Maybe it's slowing things down. So picking a task a day and do it slower. Fold laundry slower, drink coffee without scrolling, drive without rushing. You're teaching your body are we don't have to be chasing all day long. We don't need to be doing that fight or that flight mode. And if you get frozen, change the routine. Maybe if you were sitting and you got frozen, stand up, walk to the window, step outside for 30 seconds. That alone will help. Movement signals safety. And if you are in that stuck and fawn, instead of immediately saying yes, say, let me check. Let me get back to you. Pausing, then answer. So if you see yourself in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, you are for sure not broken. Your system has not learned how to get out of that survival mode. But you don't have to live in that survival mode forever. And believe me, I get it. Having, being, a mom, especially with school-age kids that require our attention more often, and you might be working full time, either in the home or out of the home. But I always say we are the CEOs of our household, right? We have everybody's schedule. So it doesn't matter if you have one kid or four kids, you are managing everybody's schedule. Most likely you're managing your own schedule and a good chance your spouse's, if you are living with a partner. And you are probably the one that makes sure the house is clean and tidy, the laundry's done, the shopping's done, the grocery, the meal planning is done. And so I get it. You are super busy and we fall into these patterns pretty quickly, pretty easily. But we don't need to stay there. So for this week, pick one small safety cue that we talked about earlier. Just one. And let your body feel something new. And tell me in the comments, which response do you see most in yourself? Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn? Let me know. In myself, I know that I have the fight and fawn more often than not. So drop in the comments, which response do you see the most? We can do calm differently here, and we do it gently. So make sure that you subscribe to Calm Mom Conversations so that you can, continue this journey with me. And again, in the description is my coffee chat. I would love to grab water, tea, coffee, I don't care, whatever your favorite beverage is, and let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation about what response you are seeing most often in your life. And you can also grab the Calm and Focus Breakthrough Kit that has a couple other strategies to help with that survival mode. And until next time, take a deep breath in and release it. All right, we'll talk soon.